guys, my name is Jami Sullins. A lot of people call me Jami Joe, my childhood nickname, and it just kind of stuck. So I have a little bit of a confession to make to you guys today. I want to confess that I am a scent addict. That's right, addicted to scents. And more specifically, addicted to Scentsy. So I've been using Scentsy products for over 14 years now, and truly my life revolves around these products. My home is filled with Scentsy products, as is my car. There's even some in my suitcase when I travel. There's just Scentsy around me everywhere I go. And a lot of people ask me why that is. The reason is because I absolutely love this product. Now, I am a Scentsy consultant and I do sell Scentsy products, but I promise you that the addiction started well before I became a consultant. I started using Scentsy products just as a customer, fell in love with the product line, and decided to become a consultant because I did love it so much and because I was using so much of it. So today, I want to talk to you about a question that I'm often asked when I am talking to people about Scentsy products. And that is when I'm talking about our wax and warmers. That's the baseline of our product line, the warmers and the wax we use in them, which I'm going to show you in just a second. But the question that I'm often asked is, how much space does a Scentsy warmer cover? How many warmers do I need? How long do they last? All these questions about the use of warmers and wax. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about today. My first question that I mentioned is, how much space does a Scentsy warmer cover? Honestly, all of the questions that I mentioned earlier are a little tricky to answer. Now, it's tricky to answer because a lot of it is just personal preference. How strong do you like your fragrance? How often do you want to change it? How big is your home? How big is the space you're looking to fragrance? So behind me is my mantle in my home. And on this mantle, you will actually see two Scentsy warmers. Let me change the focus of my camera just to show you. I've got one right there behind my head. I have another one up on the other corner. So two warmers on my mantle. And actually I'm holding the warmer that is typically in the other corner of this room. I'm holding it because in a second I'm going to show you all the basics of our warmers. But 3 warmers in my living room. Now, do I really need 3 warmers in my living room? The answer is no. I have a large space, I have a large open floor plan, and I like really strong fragrance. Also, I'm not changing the fragrance in all 3 warmers at the same time. I like to kind of stagger them out. But let's talk about how Scentsy warmers work for just a second. And also the different sizes of Scentsy warmers, because that is also going to make a difference in which warmers you choose for which rooms in your home. So I told you I was holding the warmer that is normally across the room. This is a super heavy warmer, so I'm gonna be really careful not to drop it. This is super heavy because it is actual Himalayan sea salt. This is a giant salt rock. This is one of my all-time favorite warmers. I don't have the ability to plug it in for you right now, but I wish I did because this warmer is magnificent when it is lit up. So most of our warmers work because of a light bulb inside. You can see that right inside there. So when we plug them in and turn it on, that light bulb will light up. Then there's a dish on the top. This has hardened wax in it because it's not plugged in right now. So that dish sits right in the warmer, and the heat from the light bulb is used to melt the wax. Now, that wax is very similar to candle wax, but there's a couple differences. The first thing is the type of wax that we use. It's actually food safe wax. We choose that because it's perfectly safe around kids and pets. Now, we don't recommend anyone ingesting this, but if that were to happen, nothing's going to be harmful to that child or that pet. So that is why we choose to use food grade wax. Also, the type of wax that we use is the best wax to hold the most fragrance oil. That is really important. I didn't know that when I first started out as a Scentsy customer, and I've learned more and more about it as I continue in my Scentsy career. But I've learned that we specifically choose the type of wax that we use because it has a ability to hold the most fragrance oil, meaning you're going to get the most fragrance out of Scentsy wax. Yes, I know you can purchase wax from other places, from big box stores, from other companies. But as the saying goes, you get what you pay for. And I've actually trialed that out myself. I have purchased wax from those discount stores. And within a day, it smelled like a crayon. It smelled like I had put a crayon in my warmer, and it just wasn't appealing. With Scentsy wax, I get a long scent life of fragrance. There's the question, how long is it going to last? It just really depends on what fragrance you use and how strong you like it. Now, I typically change my wax once a week. Honestly, it kind of fades out usually a little bit before then if it has a great scent throw on that fragrance. But I just always do Wax Wednesday. That's my routine in my house. Every Wednesday, I go around and I change the wax in my warmers. Now, we're talking about questions and answers here today, and that brings up another question. How do you change the wax in your Scentsy warmer? Now, when I first started as a consultant, or as a customer actually, we would always just pick up the dish while the wax was fully melted. I would walk over to the trash can, dump it out, wipe it out with a paper towel. That's fine, no problem with that, but spills happen. Waxidents, as we like to call them. Spills do happen, and it's easy to do when you're walking across a room or trying to lift a dish. So I don't recommend that way of changing your wax. Another way that I've heard people change their wax is they actually put that dish in the freezer to harden the wax super quick, and then they use a knife to scrape it out of the dish and toss it at that point. I definitely do not recommend that way to change your wax. The reason for that is if you take a knife and you scrape it in the dish of your Scentsy warmer, you can harm the finish on that dish. Whether it's a glass or a ceramic dish, there is a coating inside there that protects that dish from wax seeping through it. If you use a knife to scrape that dish, you can harm that finish and therefore harm the integrity of the dish, means that wax can go through the dish. Then you're gonna have a huge mess on your hands. So how am I supposed to change this? I have this fun little thing right here. This is a cotton cleanup, and Scentsy makes these, but let me tell you how these came about. Some of us consultants found that it was super simple to drop a couple cotton balls in the dish of our warmer. Those cotton balls would soak up that fully melted wax, and then we could just go toss those cotton balls in the trash can and put our fresh wax in. We found that this was the easiest way to change our Scentsy wax, and we told corporate about this. We were like, hey, this is what we're doing. We absolutely love it. And they also heard us when we said we hated when we got wax under our fingernails. And it was still a little messy. It was better than walking across a room with a dish of hot wax to the trash can, but it worked. So Scentsy went to the drawing board, and that's when they came up with cotton cleanup. So this is just a giant cotton round, but it has a handle, friends. This handle allows you to drop this in your warmer dish. It soaks up all your melted wax, and then you can just lift it right out. Now that cotton round is a big bad boy because I can usually soak up the wax from 2 warmers with 1 cotton cleanup. So when I am doing wax changing around my house on Waxy Wednesday, I just grab a couple of the cotton cleanups. I pop around to different rooms in my home, drop those in the dish, go back to the warmer I started with, do a little swishy swish around in the dish, pull that cotton cleanup out, toss it in the trash, and put in my fresh wax. Now, some people have mentioned to me that when they can't smell their fragrance anymore, they just drop in some new cubes to their already melted wax. And to that I say, ew, No, don't do that. I want you to think about it this way. If you're drinking a soda, I'm a Coke Zero girl. That's my drink of choice. So when I'm drinking a Coke Zero, if I have left my cup sitting somewhere and all of the ice is melted and I now have watered down Coke Zero, but I want some more, I want to freshen it up, I want a better drink, I'm not just gonna pour more Coke Zero on top of that watered down mess. I'm going to dump out that watered down Coke Zero and I am going to pour fresh in my cup. It's the same thing when you think about Scentsy. If your fragrance has faded out, it would not be wise to add fresh wax on top of it because you would just be watering down your fresh wax. Always dump out old wax before you put in new to get the best Scentsy fragrance from your warmers. So we've talked about a lot of things today. How many warmers do I need? Yeah, no perfect answer for that. You just need to find what works for you. Start with one large warmer in each room, and if you want more, get more. There's no rule that says it's too many Scentsy warmers. And sometimes I have warmers just because I love the look of them and I don't even have wax in them. So I recommend one large warmer for each room in your home. We do have small mini or nightlight warmers that are perfect for plugins that are perhaps in a place that is higher up on a counter. First of all, for the mini nightlight plugins, like bathrooms or kitchens, I do not recommend them for low down walkways, hallways, or places where accidents can easily happen. For that, I recommend our wall fan diffusers, and I have an entire other video that talks about that product line and where those warmers, or excuse me, where those products are the best. But for your Scentsy warmers, we have tons of gorgeous options for you to choose from, tons of different sizes. Jump over to my website, check those out, and don't hesitate to reach out to me if you have any questions at all.